Hold on. StrongIsland.com foreplay hour. Who's calling?
Hey, this is Cuban. What's up?
Hi.
What's going on?
Hey, what's up, y'all?
What's going on, Cuban?
Chilling. Calling up.
We are so excited that you are calling. You have no idea.
Yeah, man. You already know. Thank y'all for having me. You know?
Love those tracks you sent us, dude.
What's up?
Love those tracks you sent us.
Oh, thank you, man. You know, that's that hard work, you know?
Yeah, no, they are hot, Cuban.
Thank you, baby.
Hot.
Thank you.
Caliente.
Thank you. We're doing it up, you know? COK Entertainment. Trying to take over. You know, we're coming out with nothing but the hotness. Trying to put it out there so the people and the fans can get a grasp of it, you know?
We hear that you're hosting out on Long Island this weekend?
Oh, yeah. We're going to be in Halo this Saturday. We're going to be doing it up in Halo. My man Rappy, you know what I'm saying, he's doing it up out there. His first DJ, so, you know, he's been my DJ already for like 7 years, but he's actually going out and actually, you know, venturing his own DJ career. So this is the blast off right here. COK.
That's right. Shout out to Rappy. I definitely appreciate him for getting to call you. Yeah, we're just gonna get into it. Actually, I actually had a question. You know, a couple of viewers always were hitting me up about to ask you. They want to know if you still keep in touch with Big Pun's family.
If I still talk to Big Pun's family?
Yeah.
I mean, they always been a part of my heart and a part of my family. You know, sometimes family have little arguments and you know, we see things differently and you know, but at the end of the day, you know, they got all my love and support always. And I haven't seen them for like 3-4 months, but, you know, before that, you know, we used to do a lot of things together. But, you know, baby Chris, you know, baby Pun, he's doing his thing, you know what I'm saying, and I'm seeing it. And, you know, I got a chance to perform with him in Connecticut. So, you know, I see that he's doing it to the fullest. So, you know, they all got my blessings, little Shesha, Amanda, you know, and they doing it up, too. I heard they got a little TV series coming up, you know, Pardon the Puns. It's a reality show.
TV series.
Yeah, so they doing their thing, you know?
Do you know what channel it's going to be on?
I don't know exactly the details yet, but, you know, I've seen it being promoted through Facebook and stuff, and I've seen, you know, Star Rio's promoted, you know, Pun's daughter. She's doing it, and I've seen a couple of pictures and all of that. But that should be interesting. That should be love right there.
Absolutely.
This should get you on there.
Yeah.
So what else you been up to? You working on a new album, or what you got going on?
What are you up to?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've been working on my albums and stuff like that. I've been taking a little break, you know, doing the daddy thing. So, you know, I just had a little beautiful daughter, so you know, I'm taking time away from the music a little bit and paying attention to that. But besides that, I've been working on you know, the next album is going to be called The Missing Link, and that's going to be out there soon for y'all to get. But, yeah, that's the project I'm working on. Also a Spanish album called Te Hijo de la Calle. So, you know, I'm working both sides of the fences right there. Let the people know about hip-hop in both languages.
That's pretty cool.
So you still keep in touch with, like, Don Omar and stuff like that? Like, you know, like how you did that song Scandalous and, you know, you still keep in touch with all the reggaeton artists, or? I
mean, it's like, you know, I always had a good alliance with, like, Don Omar, Tego, Calderon, Yankee. You know, Daddy Yankee. You know, those are old friends of mine. Like, when we was doing our thing back in, you know, 90, 95, 96, they was around. You know, there was not rookies, but they've been putting in their work back then, and then they blew up and did their own thing. But those always been like my top favorite artists. You know what I'm saying? Calle 13, them dudes is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I just respect the realness of what they come out with.
That's definitely good to hear. Definitely. So, actually, a lot of people are saying, too, people want me to personally thank you. I don't know why, but personally thank you for that song, Flowers for the Dead. They said, till today, they still play that song repeatedly for people they lost and everything like that. They said that song was so touching and so deep that they just wanted to personally thank you for putting it out.
Oh, man. No doubt, man. I mean, you know, I made that song for my brother, and I knew at the end of the day, that's one of them songs that got the spirits, you know, they're around that song regardless. You know, that's one of those endless classics. And when you're feeling down and you lost somebody, you know, that was tight and close to you, that's the song you played, and you know, relieves, it gives you a flashback of the actual incident, but it also relieves your stress and your spiritual side. So it's one of those special songs that I was put here in the world to do, and sadly it's for my brother, and he passed away. But that's just it's like the #1 song in funerals.
I'm glad you gave it your all, and instead of making a
Oh,
good
yeah.
track, you made a great track. There's a
Absolutely.
difference.
Thank you, man.
Big ups.
Still remember you on all your old tracks. And actually, somebody brought. So I guess when you did the song "Off the Hooks," off the books. Wow, I'm shot. Yeah, off the books. They want to know, like, when you did that verse, what were you thinking? Like, what was your mindset when you did that track?
When we did that track, I mean, that was something that was done as we speak, like, in a hood style way. Like, we just met up. Like, Pun already had gotten this deal with Steve Rifkin, Loud Records, and all of that, and he invited me to Juju's house because Juju wanted him to get on a song, and we went to his, he had a loft at that time in Queens, and he took me and Triple Six with him, and we just went over there to pick out beats, and then, they was going through beats, and we heard that, and, we just fell in love with that. We fell in love with that. I was just, and we just said, yo, this is it right here. And, Juju and Les was like, yo, you like that? Write to that shit. So we just, right there, we took out the pen and pad and started writing in Juju's house. And we made it right there. Pun made his first verse. I made the second, right after Pun. And then Triple Six came after me. But they couldn't use Triple Six's verse because it was too long. It's two of them and two of us. So they didn't want to get the extra Cheddar Squad member at the time in there because it was too long, what I'm saying? So sadly, Sage had to be cut off that song. But, I ended up staying because I did 8 bars. Pun did the 16. I just continued off of Pun's bars. And we made it like a straight spit song, like, hooks in between. It was just us spitting bars right after each other. So, I was just trying to keep up with the pace of these niggas at the time. I was doing the rookie thing, but Pun was a little more mature than me at that time. So he was more confident with his stuff. I was just writing stuff because I just said, yo, this shit is hot. Let me just say this. You know what I'm saying? Little ideas here and there. And I was just following my big brother's footsteps as far as, we used to love Dodge Effects and the way they used to come on, pick up lines after each other, like rhyme with the last word they come off with. So that's what we was just doing. But, I mean, those are the fun days of hip-hop. That's when we just, we wasn't thinking of it as a business. It was just more fun.
Yeah.
Because that song still rocks
Hip-hop
today.
used to be all about fun.
Yeah, man. The element, you need that element to make hits, man. You need to have fun at all times. Later on, when you become a little veteran, sophomore, junior at this game, it becomes a little, the fun gets a little blocked because of the business and the bullshit of people. But, you got to keep that fun element in your rhymes and in your whole, in your career, man. Because if not, you're not going to get the best work out yourself.
When you recorded that song that you said not everyone could make it on because it couldn't meet the length of the radio edit, did you still record a full version for the album?
The full version that we had was with Triple Six after me, and then it was Juju, and then it was Les. But the only thing that's missing out there is the Triple Six verse. But I don't know if they ever kept it, because remember at that time it was relativity.
So they did a full record, put it on the album. I know the radio, you needed a 30-second intro, can't be longer than 3 minutes. But on your album, you can put whatever you want. So
right, but it was up to their choice. It was a Beatnuts choice because it was their song. It was it was never our song. It was something for them. So they had the choice to do that in the album. But they never did it, though. They never did it. I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? But he did spit on it. I was there. I was witness to say Triple Six spit on that.
Sure, it's probably recorded somewhere, buried in a hard drive or a cassette tape or something.
I don't know. They got all of that. They got all the reels and everything to what they did. So, if anything, they got to have that song. They got to have that extra, after Triple Six first.
Oh, you were in history, You're definitely going down in history. Especially,
Thank you, Waffle. Thank you,
What was that second track you played? The second track you played of Cubans.
Quiet Storm, his new one?
Yeah, the Quiet Storm. Tell us
is
about
insane.
Quiet Storm.
That's
the
insane.
mindset of
Quiet Storm is now. This is the new Cuban. This is the Cuban with the, the mature, still kind of angry Cuban.
Yeah, I like the battle rap sound of that one.
You have to go back on the corners. Rocky had to go back to being broke and running through the Philly. Was still going back to the first movie. So this is the Cuban going back to the meat freezer, beating up some beef. So I still find my fun in that, and I still feel the energy of that. So that's why I had to do Quiet Storm.
Yeah, that song was fire, man.
Yeah, man.
I like the battle style of that, going hard.
Yeah.
And how did the song come out with Trey Songz?
The one with Trey Songz, I mean, that was done. That was actually done. My man had the Trey Songz hook, like, into one of the beats, and they just remade the beats over. So they put his verse, I mean, his hooks on a beat, and then I spit my 3 verses. But, you know, I love that song too, man. That's something that was done on some hood shit, but
that was
it
on some
definitely
real
has
stuff.
potential to make it to the big time, man. Just, you know, it is what it is, man. You know, you got to clear it with the companies, and it gets kind of lost. And that's why I say it was fun when I was making it, but then the politics of it, and then, you know, reaching out to this big artist, it's kind of hard because they act like they're too big.
I got one more question for you. Do you still keep touch with anybody from Terror Squad?
No, man, I'm done with that chapter. I mean, I still see people, but as far as, like, what I want to do, business still, and I wish there was, you know, a relationship, nah, not really, man. I mean, I'm done with all that. Like, you know what I'm saying? That was something that happened once in our life, and, you know, we came through the same channel, same hood, you know, loved and enjoyed the same music, and we had a time together, and it was fun.
Well,
but after a certain situation happened, you know, True Colors was revealed, and I don't like want to visit that again because it just,
bad memories.
You know, certain situations bring out realness, and especially when it comes to yourself, like it tells you who's really behind you, who's really your friends, who's really will sell you out for money, who really sells you out for that spotlight, and people tend to get, you know, kind of amnesia when they're doing good, you know what I'm saying, or when they think they're doing good, and then later on when they trip and fumble and stumble and fall in their faces, they come back with the sad faces, their heads down. And, you know, I just can't respect that, you know what I'm saying? Because I've always been who I was, you know, with the deal, without the deal, you know, in the hood. I've always been the same nigga, and I always represented my people with the same strength I have. So, you know, the situation I went through after, like, the separation of Terror Squad, like, none of them really was checking for me. You know what I'm saying? None of them really was, like, looking at how Cuban doing. You know what I'm saying? So now that they all split up and the whole empire fell down because of that one individual that took over, and just everybody else never got a chance to come out and got the bat in the stick. So, you know, I can't really have no pity for that. You know, I come from that warrior cloth. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lesson I hope they learn, because it's more valuable to them than me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to wish that on nobody. You know what I'm saying? I wanted them to be the most they could ever be as far as in hip hop and in his career they picked. But if it didn't go through, and, you know, they kind of try to burn bridges behind them when it was going up, you know, it's not my fault that they're in the situation they are in now, you know?
Definitely. So you think if Big Pun was still alive, do you think you'd still be rolling with him, though?
I mean, I think definitely. I mean, me and Pun were friends before this music, you know what I'm saying? That was the beautiful thing about our friendship. It had nothing to do with this music thing. It just, that was my brother from, I was 16, you know, and he was 18. And then we got into the music, like, after, like, 20, 21, you know what I'm saying? We got into the music together. But at the end of the day, it was like, I know I wouldn't be arguing with my brother about no music shit. If we would, you know, it's something that we could always be like, okay, we could, you know, we could be assholes and shit. You know what I'm saying? Just in regular situations, we assholes. I know in music we used to argue about things. But, you know, it was more of that brother, you know what I'm saying, that brother-to-brother talk and brother-to-brother argument, you know what I'm saying? And,
right.
And at the end of the day, we had each other's back. So whatever Pun would have been rocking with, you know, Cuban would have been rocking with. And whatever Cuban would be rocking with, Pun would have been rocking with. That's just the way we was.
Well, we definitely appreciate you calling in. You want to say any shout-outs or anything before we let you go?
Big shout-out to my man, Rappy, man. I see you Saturday, Club Halo, Long Island. You already know we're going to get it popping out there. You already know I got a little situation through Sony. So, you know, man, we about to do big things. CLK came in. The name of the album is going to be called The Missing Link. You know, Chain of Command is probably being a mixtape. Big shout-out to y'all for having me on this. And I hope everybody's listening. You know, come through Saturday, Club Halo. We're going to get it popping out there. Long Island, be ready.
Sounds good. Thank you again, Cuban, for calling in, and I wish you the best luck of everything.
Best of luck, man.
Thank y'all for having me, man. One love, you heard?
Thanks for the calling, brother. Take it
All
easy.
right, brother.